to Jacob's Toys. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. It's here. It is the Superman and Krypto 1/6 scale collectible Hot Toys MMS 812, and straight out of the box. I'm absolutely loving this. I'm a huge Superman fan and absolutely loved David Cornswear in Superman. So when I saw this, I was like, I have to get my hands on it. And the fact that it comes with Superman and Krypto, I was quite pleased. Initial inspection from the box, everything looks very nice. Everything looks good, what you would expect from Hot Toys. And I have seen a little bit of flack about this on the internet, a couple of people complaining. But so far, I haven't got any complaints. I'm absolutely loving this display base. It's a great big thing. It really is a huge thing. And much to my surprise, there's a couple of different options here. So this is a magnetic kind of flight stand that just slots into the top of the piece there. You've also got a little like a little kind of icicle cube bit that kind of finishes it off and, you know, hides that hole if you don't want to use that magnetic flight stand. And of course you've got your standard kind of gripper base thing as well that goes into the peg there. And if you don't want to use that, you've also got a replacement piece here to hide that hole as well. I'm really impressed. The amount of options, the amount of kind of different ways that you can have this are all very nice. You've got the little tool here for moving the eyeballs around as well. So if your eyes are off a little bit off center, or you want to have him looking in a different direction, then you can. I think my only complaint, if there was one, is that Krypto just kind of comes on his own little flight stand here. The actual Krypto model is very good. He's got a little wide cape as well, so you can move that around. But it's just a shame that he's kind of extra to the rest of it. It would have been nice if there was an option to somehow have him in that kind of nice big diorama base there. Let's have a look at the actual figure now. I really liked the costume in this film. I'm not going to lie, I really did. I'm a huge Superman fan. I've loved pretty much every version of Superman we've had, and the most latest one, Cornsweat's version, did not disappoint at all. Now, obviously, Hot Toys, 1/6 scale Hot Toys are classed as kind of an adult collectible. The price point on them are quite high, so you do expect a decent level of quality in these. And to be perfectly honest, I've got quite a few Hot Toys now. The majority of my collection is 1/6 scale figures. I've got quite a few, and I'm yet to be really disappointed. Overall, they usually come out quite nicely, and like I said, I have seen a few people kind of complaining about this figure online, so I was a little bit apprehensive. But you can see here the likeness is what you would come to expect from Hot Toys, and I think it's a really good likeness. I think it's kind of taken that look from the movie and done it justice. I don't have any concerns or quibbles about the way that it looks. Articulation is obviously what you would expect from a Hot Toys figure, and the thing is even though these are kind of high-end adult collectibles, you have got to be a little bit careful. You know, these are real suits, these are real pieces of material, so they do only kind of bend and move as much as they would, unlike sort of 6-inch figures that are all pins and joints and all the rest of it, and you can get them into some crazy poses. Hot Toy figures, you do have to be a little bit careful not to overextend things or not to kind of rip clothing and stuff. But, you know, they're made to kind of be put into a pose, to be on display. And of course you can do some figure photography with them as well and get them into various different positions. I mean, this one came with a whole bunch of additional hands. That was the only real additional accessory, was the additional hands, so that you can kind of choose which hand pose you want. There was some nice kind of flat flying hands. There were some gripped hands. The only ones that I suppose didn't make any sense is there were what you would class as kind of pistol hands with like a finger, and it looks like it should hold something, but I'm not really quite sure where I'd use that because there wasn't any accessory to kind of go with it. Overall though, it looks brilliant. The colours absolutely pop. The costume is pretty much to a T. There's a nice plastic emblem there on the cape. The cape is kind of a hybrid between the natural drop capes and the wide capes. It feels like a bit of a mixture of the two, and I'm kind of here for it. It kind of works. You can kind of get it into a wide position, but then it drops as well. This magnet is super strong, as you can see there. I've seen people kind of complaining about this and saying that it does kind of fall. Obviously, if you were going to have him upside down like this, then you could see there was a little bit of movement there, but it didn't fall. And I appreciate when you're sort of shelling out like £300 for a figure, you don't want it to just fall off the shelf, but it's a really strong magnet. I suppose it does limit you a little bit in regards to where you can kind of put him. As you can see, I've not done anything with his feet or his legs here, so it does look a little bit awkward and uncomfortable, but he's on there. He is on there solidly. So if I have a look, just kind of put him into a bit of a pose, messed around with the cape a little bit, and he's on there. He's not going anywhere, but it creates this real illusion of flying. You can't really see where the flight stand ends and the figure begins, and you can play around with that cape and kind of really hide it. But this was very quick, and yeah, I think it works. Like I said, the only disappointment, I suppose, is Krypto and having him kind of just off to the side. But overall, this figure is an absolute winner, in my opinion. If I was going to suggest anything, it would be to add a light to the base like I have here, just because it's all transparent and it glows up really nicely. So maybe if they just put a light in it, but it's not enough to really complain about. I think it's an absolute winner. I'm really fond of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you picked this figure up, what do you think of it? Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to hit subscribe.